Hey guys, welcome back to our series on miracles that Jesus performed during his ministry. The next one that we are going to look at is in Matthew and Mark. And we've mentioned that I believe the miracle that Jesus performed during his ministry that's mentioned in all four Gospels is Jesus feeding the 5,000. And that was just a few videos ago, a little bit ago. Now he's feeding 4,000. And these are both mentioned in Matthew and Mark. So they're not the same experience and they just had different numbers or whatever. Everyone mentioned the 5,000, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. And now Matthew, Mark mentioned the 4,000. I don't know where Luke was on this. Maybe Luke felt that, they'd already mentioned the 5,000, so feeding 4,000 maybe it wasn't as cool anymore, worth mentioning. I don't know, but it is in Matthew and Mark. So we're just going to hit this. Matthew 15. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just drew a blank there. So we can go to like 31-ish. 32. So these people have been following a lot of the miracles we've been talking about, the last few miracles. It seems like they're in the same few day space. Okay. So it's been a crazy few days. They've been following Jesus. And I can only imagine what that would be like. Jesus called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude because they continue with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. These people follow Jesus around for 3 days. I can't even imagine what that would be like. We have a few words about miracles and a couple things that happened, but the amount of miracles that they probably did witness and the amount of teachings that they heard and the things that they heard, it's got to be incredible. 3 days. 3 days they were with Jesus. 3 days in a row they were with Jesus. And I'm guessing all 3 days wasn't Jesus talking, but we know Jesus was moving place to place. The multitude was following him. There was healings and miracles and teachings and so much cool stuff. And I can't even imagine, I can't even imagine. I think it'd be fun. If you could see Jesus for a few minutes and talk to him, what would you ask him? What would you do? What would you say? And the things that Jesus would tell you, you would want to capture every word, feeling, everything about that, right? And that'd be hard to do, but it'd be awesome. These people were with him for 3 days. Oh my gosh, that would be freaking rad. So they've been with him 3 days and have nothing to eat. So I'm guessing they had some food with them. They thought, I'm going to go follow Jesus. I'm going to bring some figs or whatever they ate. I don't know what they ate. I know they had bread and fish. And so they had some fish jerky or something. I don't know what they had. Figs, fish, I don't know, bread. So they took with them. They probably had some food. So they probably weren't starving. They probably had eaten something during those 3 days, but not eating for 3 days. Or even if they had something first day or two, this is day 3, they probably weren't expecting to be, they probably didn't bring enough food for 3 days. And now they're hungry. And it sounds like they're very hungry to the point of fainting. And Jesus says, I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. So they'd gone long enough without food that if they walked home, that they would probably faint. So they're pretty hungry. They're definitely needing to eat. Again, I think this is fascinating. Something we covered in our 5,000 person feeding miracle that I think about frequently is that Jesus fed the 5,000, Jesus fed the 4,000. Each time the people were with Jesus for several days. And they're hungry to the point of fainting. There's times, when Jesus tells Peter to cast his nets back in the water, and Peter's pulling his nets back in, and there's so many fish that his nets are going to break. We know Jesus has the power to create fishes from the lake or from the baskets passing around or whatever. He has the power to provide more food than we could ever consume. Not even close. He has the power to bless us more abundantly than we can even consume. And here is no exception, except for the people have been without much food for 3 days, which is the fascinating thing for me, because so many times in life I think, I'm trying to do good. I'm following this prompting. I'm doing this, whatever. I felt the prompting. I feel like Jesus wants me to do missionary work, get baptized, give service, go talk to this good person about the gospel, do something. And then something horrible happens when you're following this voice, and you're like, okay, God, why is this? Why are bad things happening when I'm trying to do good? And bad things happen, whether you're doing good or bad, like they can't happen. But sometimes it seems like the act of you following that prompting brings down some bad experience. And I know that's happened for me sometimes, and all the time I'm like, come on. Good things are supposed to happen. I'm supposed to get a winning lottery ticket, or I don't know. People are supposed to praise me. I'm going to get hugs from everybody. They're going to tell me I'm wonderful. Everyone's going to be happy that I'm doing this good thing, Yeah. So I kind of expect following the Spirit, following Jesus should bring good instead of bad. And 4,000 people are following Jesus and are so hungry they're about to faint. They are in the presence of Jesus. Obviously, Jesus knows. I'm pointing at my Bible here. Obviously, Jesus knows that they are hungry. He knew they were hungry yesterday. He knew they were hungry 2 days ago. He knew 3 days ago that they would be hungry today. Yeah, and at any time, Jesus could have prompted the people 2 weeks ago to have a little food supply on hand. Jesus could have prompted these people 3-4 days ago. You're going to follow Jesus, and you're going to need 3 days worth of food to follow him. Make sure you bring that. All these things could have happened, but they didn't. And these people did not eat to the point where they were going to faint without food. And if they go home, like now they're stuck. They're out in the wilderness somewhere, and if they walk home, they're going to faint. So they're kind of stuck. I also don't blame them. If I was listening to Jesus and I was hungry, I've got probably more body supply. I could probably live a little longer. But they were with Jesus in his presence. And it seems like Jesus let this happen so he could show a miracle. And man, I would love to be with Jesus. And if you're with Jesus and you're seeing these miracles and these healings, and it's day 3, and you're seeing his love and how he treats people and his teachings and stuff, and you're hungry, are you going to go home and be like, I'm out. I know he's healing people, but I'm going to run home and grab a bite to eat? Probably not. You're going to sit there paying attention, watching the master do these things. And that's what they did. 4,000, and we'll see how many, it says men, in a little bit. So who knows? I don't know how many people were there. It says 4,000 men, besides women and children, skipping ahead. So I don't know. I don't know if that means 5,000 people, if it means 10,000, if it means 20,000. I kind of like 10,000 just because it's a nice big whole number. But 10,000 people following Jesus around. That is so many people. Like, I think about the Utah Jazz. I live here in Utah, in America. Utah Jazz, the stadium, the Delta Center holds 22,000 people. I know. I should Google that really quick since I am. Alexa, how many people fit in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City? We're going to look.
The Delta Center in Salt Lake City has a capacity of more than 20,000 people for concerts, 14,000 for hockey and football games, and 18,306 for basketball games.
So, so Alexa tells us that the Delta Center in Salt Lake City holds just over 20,000 people. For hockey, fits like 14,000 people. I had a chance to go to a hockey game there. There was a lot of people, especially when it all gets out at the same time and everyone's leaving and it's insane and there's traffic. So 14,000 people. Let's just say there's 14,000 people following Jesus to feed. So a hockey game, that's a lot of people. That is a ton of people that are following Jesus and have made the decision to not go back to their house to get food. They're going to follow and listen to everything he says. I love it. Okay, back to here, 33. And his disciples say unto him, whence should we have so much bread in the wilderness, as to fill a great multitude? So his disciples are like, where are we going to get enough bread to feed everybody? Now, do you think that they're thinking like, are we doing what we did in chapter 14? This is just chapter 15. Like, that's only one page. I can look back at 5,000 people, one page over. Well, it's a couple pages, but one physical page. It wasn't that long ago since the 5,000. I don't know how long, really. It could have been a long time. As far as pages, it's not that long. So they're like, where are we going to get the bread? And it had to think about it like Jesus is going to create a miracle. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe just thought, what are we going to do? We're out in the middle of nowhere. And Jesus saith unto them, how many loaves have ye? And they said 7. So they had 7 loaves of bread. Not a lot to feed all those people, to feed everybody in the Delta Center. I think about the Delta Center, there's probably 20, 30 restaurants in there that, especially like between the periods of the hockey game, man, that place is packed. Anyway, and a few little fish. A few little fishes. I love that it says little fishes. I don't know why. It doesn't take much to get me giggling about something, but if there's 7 loaves of bread and a few little fishes, like, I don't know. They're little fishes. We should have thrown them back, but we brought them anyway. There's not much meat on them. They're little. And I don't know for professional fishermen what a little fish was, but they had a few little fishes and 7 loaves of bread. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. Oh, I can't imagine being there. And there's 10,000, 14,000, whatever people, bajillion of people. And they're talking about food. And they have 7 loaves of bread. And Jesus tells everybody to sit down. Like, okay, what's going to happen? He took the 7 loaves and the fishes and gave thanks. He gave thanks for what they had. He doesn't have 1% of food to feed all these people, and he's giving thanks for what he does have. He's giving thanks for the little bit that he has. He's giving thanks to the Father for this. It sounds to me like we should all be doing when we eat, give thanks for the food that we have and to the people who brought us the food and provided it, or our jobs that are able to pay for that, help us pay for that for our family because we work for them, So he gave thanks. Again, he's to me, it seems like he's saying a prayer before he commits the miracle. Gave thanks and brake them and gave them to his disciples and the disciples to the multitude. So similar to last time, I don't know about the groups of 50 like before, but he broke the bread, gave it to his disciple and the fish, I guess, break them. So he broke it up for everyone to have, gave it to his disciples to give to everyone else. And whether he's giving bread to his disciples to pass on to us, he's giving fish to his disciples and apostles to pass on to us. Same with the good word that Jesus gives to his apostles and disciples to pass on to us. 37, and they did all eat, all of them. The whole Delta Center, 14,000 people, whatever it was, a ton of people. And they took up the broken meat that was left. So meat sounds like the fishes. It was left 7 baskets full. So they have 7 baskets full of food that came back after feeding all these people. And they that did eat were 4,000 men besides women and children. And he sent away the multitude. So the multitude was with him 3 days. 4,000 men beside women and children. A whole ton of people. I can't imagine, like, when I think of the hockey game or the basketball game in the Delta Center, it was the Utah Hockey Club. I think they're the Mammoth now, but this is the first year they're in existence here in Salt Lake. So it was fun watching them. I can't imagine, like, after the end of the hockey game, when those thousands and thousands of people come pouring out of the Delta Center and they're all going to the cars and there's police directing traffic and all this. That many people, he just sent away, like, they're full. They can make it home now. And he's sending them away. Jesus is going to go get on a ship. And he's sending these people away. And those masses, if you think about, like, I mean, if you've been to another sporting event, that's the only thing I can think of that has that many people. If you've been to an NFL game or a big football, basketball game or something, think of just the masses of people walking away, and you got elderly people, you got babies, you got all kinds of people leaving. So many people. Again, Jesus shows his compassion. He shows his power over the elements. He's power over food. I don't know how the food is created and where it comes from in the baskets, and I don't know how that works, but I know it does. And I don't know how any of these miracles really happen. I don't know how the miracles happen in my life, but I know that Jesus is doing crazy things in their lives and in our lives. But I know he has that compassion, and I just want to say I know sorry guys. I know that if you're watching this, which I don't know if anyone's made it this far in any of my videos, but if you're watching this, you probably are trying to follow Jesus. And you probably have had some struggles in your life, and know that even the people with Jesus, with him full time, 24/3 for those 3 days, they were so hungry that they couldn't walk home. And I know that I don't know where you are in your 3-day journey, and I don't know how hungry you are for blessings, whether that's real food, a healing, or for your prayers to be answered for you or family members. But I know that there is a reason that God knows why that prayer hasn't been answered. But I know it won't be long until that blessing is answered. And like the people in this account, they ate and they were full, all of them. And pretty soon, those prayers are going to be answered for you too. And whatever that blessing is, you will eat and be full of that blessing. And I can't wait. I'm super happy for you guys. Hang in there. It's coming. Love you.